But for Jobe, being at a predominantly white school was a constant reminder that McClendon's game wasn't getting the credit it deserved.
In 1978, we had the NC2A championship.
Who will be the national champion will unravel
Duke played Kentucky. He had a kid named Jaminski, and on a couple occasions, Duke rebounded the ball and threw that long pass down court, layup. Next morning, I picked up the paper, and they were talking about what genius that was. It was just sickening. It made me so angry. When Duke did it, it was genius. When we did it, it was jungle ball.
John Chaney is best known for being the longtime head coach of the Division I Temple Owls. However, his first collegiate position was at a historically black college in suburban Pennsylvania.
I went out to Chaney State, where I coached for 10 years.
That team was unique because of the way that Coach Chaney was able to put that team together.
They didn't have scholarships, and many other schools did. And you found yourself having to walk around with a briefcase filled with financial aid papers that a kid's got to fill out while you're standing next to a guy saying, hey, just sign your name on this paper, you got a scholarship.
This team was put together with players that were from different parts of the area. You have key players from Philadelphia, players from Pittsburgh, players from Chester.
In 1978, Chaney brought his team of underdogs to the Division II finals.
I remember reciting to them at breakfast a little poem that came out of Milton, who said, learn to labor. Ye also serves who learns to labor and to wait. And everybody hollering, what time is it? And guys are holding their watches up that they'd gained. It's NCAA time, which meant it was time to win.
To win the NCAA Division II championship.
I was so proud of him. And sometimes I'm driving my car, I'll get melancholy, pull over to the side of the road, and tears will come out of my eyes, thinking about that joyful moment with those guys.
From the moment Clarence Big House Gaines came to Winston-Salem State in the 1940s, it was clear that he had found a home. While his good friend and contemporary John McClendon moved between black colleges, integrated schools, and the pros, Gaines remained at the small, historically black college. By the time he had led his team to the NCAA Division II championship in 1967, with Earl the Pearl Monroe, he was synonymous with coaching excellence.
Coaches had come and gone, but Big House was the face of college basketball.
You guys, let's keep talking to each other. I don't know, what were you guarding in the last one?
He was like a Pied Piper. You know, wherever he was, you know, the guys that played for him would be right behind him. If he stopped, we'd all bump into each other, you know. And he was that type of person that exuded confidence in himself and you.
Shoot again, Gene. Shoot you make it, baby. That's it.
Our motto was to kill, kill, kill. That was their way of saying, I will achieve, I will achieve, I will achieve.
At that time, coaches had a way of sort of keeping you in line and, you know, Guys today that play, they could have never played for the coaches we had because they always looking for positive reinforcements. I don't think none of our coaches, Big House Gaines, Mac Linden, there was no positive reinforcement. You had to take it or you had to quit. But if you quit, it was always somebody sitting there waiting to take your spot.
Come on, no excuses. John, all you had to do is lay it up on the board there.
However, by the late 1970s, dwindling enrollment at historically black colleges was hurting fundraising in athletics. House, though, persevered, and in 1977 won his 600th game. But without the same quality of talent coming through his doors, Big House could only watch as his basketball program declined.
The teams of the day that I have are not equal to the teams that I had during the 1967 and the 1975 era. I am not getting the same quality ball player that I did during those days. And it's impossible because these guys are being recruited very, very early by Division I schools. And with the Division I schools, there are a lot more spoilers, there are a lot more experiences, there's a lot more exposure. And there's a lot of money for a youngster who has a successful tenure at a Division I school. It's a shame and disgrace for somebody to get $500,000 just for going to the Final Four. Get someone else in the same division, can't buy hamburgers after a ball game.
The doctor came into my room one night. The doctor said, "Bob, I got some bad news for you, son." He said, "You're never gonna walk right again. You always got to walk with a cane and a crutch." Well, I was devastated. I was scared to death. But that was the reason I had to quit, because I couldn't run, I couldn't jump.
In 1977, after 11 seasons in the NBA, Bob Love retired.
One day I came home and I looked around and everything I owned was gone. Money, cars, all-star rings, chains, every materialistic thing I had was gone. And I looked on the floor, I saw a note from my wife, and I picked it up. And the note basically said that she didn't want to be married to a guy that couldn't talk. And she definitely didn't want to marry to a guy that was going to be crippled the rest of his life. And let me tell you, that's one of the most, that's one of the most hurting feelings I'd ever had in my life. I got scared, all kind of thoughts that were going through my mind. But once again, I got on my knees and asked the Lord to give me strength, to give me courage to go on. I was always under the impression that if you had a college education, which I did, I had a degree in foods and nutrition, that you could always get a job. I would go to hospitals, I would go to factories, I would go to food companies, and I could always get in to see I could see the personnel manager, the boss, and they remember me when I was playing. They said, "Bob, I remember when you played against the Knicks, the Boston, or the Lakers. Man, you were a great, great, great player. What can I do for you?" Oh, but that was the magic word, I tell you. Couldn't get one single word out. I would stammer and stutter contortions would come on my face when the guy would always try to help me get words out, the and that. And then it finally got to the part where they would always say, "Bob, don't call us, we'll call you."